All right. Well, hey, let's get down to business here on Late Night CSP.
Yeah.
It's been a long time since we've done this, and I I've been holding on to this story for a little while because I wanted to share it with you, and I want to get this. Normally, we wait till like the second or third segment. I want to get this going right now, and I want to kind of almost do like you're the judge and the jailer on this, and I want you to tell me and be 100% honest with me how you would have whether I'm guilty or not guilty here.
All right. All right.
Okay. So it was about 2 weeks ago at this point. I was walking through West County Mall, which I enjoy doing. They have very good samples in the food court. I like to go do my roundabout of the samples.
Yeah.
And I'm getting ready to walk out of the mall. And it was me and baby girl, me and Princess were walking around the mall. And then as we're walking out, I all of a sudden realized, oh man, they have a candy store here. I want to go in and get some sour candy. I think that would be really good. And she's like, okay. So we were out of the mall and we literally walk back into the mall. It's like 8:30 at night. We go into Candy City, and first of all, there are like 6 or 7, 11-year-old girls running rampant in this fucking store. It makes me want to pull my hair out immediately. So anyways, we're just walking around and we're scoping the place out, whatever we want to get. I'm scooping some Crybaby Tears, some Sour Belts into my bag. Not even a lot. Like sometimes I'll go into a candy store and I'll spend $25 on like a 3-pound bag of candy.
Yeah.
This was literally, maybe in total it was about as much as 1 scoop from a bin, so it wasn't much at all. Meanwhile, baby girl is over here, and she is scooping out a couple of, I think she was getting Chewy Sprees, I want to say.
Yeah.
Yeah, so she looks over, and I'm looking back at it like it's the Zapruder film, like I'm watching from a distance of all this that's happening. She looks over at me, and she's making some comment that's stupid. It's like nothing, whatever. One solo spree falls out of the scoop, and it hits the ground and it rolls across.
Mm-hmm.
And the lady that's running the joint flips her shit, man. And she looks over at us. At this point, we're the only two in the store. The girls had already left. And she stops what she's doing. I think she was even on the phone. And she goes, "You got to be more careful. You don't make a mess of my store. You got to blah, blah, blah." And starts yelling at us, like trying to make her feel stupid. And we both look at each other, and we're so turned off at this point, Ty. It's ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
So baby girl makes a comment back and says, "Well, maybe you shouldn't fill the bin up so high because the bin was ridiculously full. Like you couldn't even get the scooper in there." So, anyways, that's not important. She's like, "Well, let's just get out of here. Let's buy her candy and leave." She starts walking towards the counter, and I'm looking at the lady. She's kind of giving me a dirty look, and I'm just like, you know what? I don't like the way that this lady has treated us at all.
Yeah,
fuck this. And I make a point to just set my bag down.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, "Are you going to buy that?" And I go, "You know what? I've changed my mind. I want to take my business elsewhere. I'm not happy with you. I'm just going to leave." And I say it in a real nice manner like that. And then she snaps back with, "Well, once you mix it, you have to buy it."
Rules, Rocky.
I know. I'm not familiar with these rules. And I go, "Well, I'm just kind of not happy with the way you treated me, and I'm not going to buy it." And she goes, "Well, you have to." And I go, "Well, I'm not, so I don't really know, where this is going to go." So I'm getting prepared to she's going to finish paying for her bag of candy, and we're getting prepared to just walk out, because we're in the middle of a mall. It's like, you're not going to make me buy this. I'm just going to fucking leave. I'm not trying to steal it. So we're getting ready to walk out, and she goes, "If you don't buy that, I'm going to call security." And whenever she says she's going to bring security into this, I'm like, all right, I'm hanging out now. I'm not going anywhere. This is going to be fucking sweet.
Gotta see what happens here.
Exactly. She calls security. She tells him, "Yeah, we have a problem at Candy City."
Crisis, Candy City.
Exactly. Exactly. So the guy rushes over on his Segway. And he's like,
Was he on a Segway?
"Oh, dude, West County Mall, they give all the security guards Segways."
God, I love it. Yeah. All right.
He brought backup, too. There were 2 of them.
Dang.
So
Came prepared.
Oh, yeah. So I'm standing here. I'm just being as calm as possible. she starts, in the meantime, while we're waiting for security, the lady is getting up in our face, doing the finger shake. She's shaking her finger at us, and I'm like, I'm not even going to argue with you about this. I'm not going to buy the candy. This is what's going to happen. So security gets there, and they're probably thinking, oh my God, there are like 8 teenagers from class of Nukem High. They're here with mohawks, and they're like giving a noogie to the shopkeeper and everything.
You guys are just thrashing the store, throwing candy everywhere.
Right.
Candy raining down.
So I just, she's like, well, these are them right here. These are the people. And the security guards, he walks in, and I'm like, she was being rude to me, and I don't want to buy the candy. I'm not going to buy it. And she's saying, well, this is our store policy. If you mix it, you buy it, blah, blah, blah. And the guard's like, well, I don't really know. We can't make him buy something if he doesn't want to.
Oh, that's great.
So she's getting pissed. She's got the manager of the store on the phone, which he's at home. He's having a lovely evening, I'm sure. And she's like, we got some hoodlums over here giving me a problem. Get down here immediately. So the manager's on his way over to the store. She wants to get the cops called. The security was like, we can't make him do this. All we can do is, get the cops if you want. And the security guard's being super cool with me, by the way. He's like, I'm sorry about this, but I don't really know. I don't blame you at all. If she's being rude, I wouldn't be buying this either. And
wow.
So I'm telling the guard, listen, I don't want to involve the police here. I mean, I feel like there are a lot of other more important things they could be doing than this right now. And I was like, to be honest, I just don't want to give her the satisfaction of buying candy from her. So he's like, well, we already called them. They're on their way down. It's just procedure, whatever. So the cop comes down an even bigger, like more like tricked out segue. And he
Oh, he's got a detailed Segway with like blue flames on it.
Oh, yeah. And first he misses the store, and he goes out towards the parking lot, and the other guard's like, hey, we're over here. And then the one security guard's like, I think he's got another call. And I'm like, well, I hope it's a lot more important than this one. I don't know what could be, but I sure hope it is. Finally, he gets there. The security guards give him a rundown of what's going on. He looks over at me, and he's kind of chuckling. And I was like, okay, before we go any further, I'll let you know that whatever you tell me to do, I'm going to do, because I don't want to make this a big thing. Just ridiculous. So he goes in and talks to her, and he's like, okay, here's the deal. I can't really make you do anything, and if you were to walk away right now, there's really not a lot I could do. And I was like, so you mean if I drive out of the parking lot, I'm not going to get swarmed by 8, state troopers and SWAT team and everything over this? And he goes, no, it's not going to happen, but I can't guarantee that she won't try to press charges for breaking store policy. And I was like, man, what the hell? It's a $3 bag of candy, Ty.
Mm-hmm.
It's become a 45-minute, epic thing at this point. And he's like, I'll have to fill out paperwork and all this stuff. And I was like, well, I don't want to make your job any harder about this. So I'm like, all right, I'll go pay for it. So we walk in there, and he gives her the whole rundown, like, he doesn't have to pay for this. He doesn't have to do that, but he's nice enough to get this over with. He's going to give you the $3 for this candy. So as I'm paying for it, the manager comes in, and he looks like he's ready to fight somebody. And I told him, I was happy that he came in, because I was like, I paid for the candy. I didn't want to, but I want to let you know that she was incredibly rude, and that's what started this whole thing. And she's like, well, if you would like, we could watch the video. And I was like, I really wish that you could put the video on right now, because
I would love for you to pull this video so we could watch it, yes.
Dude, she was so animated. And if you watch the video from a security standpoint, she is pacing the floor, shaking her finger, moving around, and I'm just standing here. And the manager apologizes to me. I love that he probably drove, 20 minutes to get there in a flash. Yeah. Oh, shit. So pay for the candy. I walk out. I'm all I'm super got high from it, man. I'm feeling good. The next morning I wake up and we're talking about the whole thing again, eating the candy that we purchased while we're talking about it. And we're like, man, fuck Candy City, dude. This place sucks. Yeah. And then we're eating the candy, and we're like, kind of sucks that we can't go back there, though, because it's so close.
Yeah, it does.
Oh, and Oh, I have to mention too that while we were telling her all this shit about the thing being so full and that she was terrible at customer service, she tells us, "I've been in this business for 20 years, okay?"
Wow. I've been in the mall candy retail
Oh man, I
chain
know.
business.
And I'm thinking, you've been fucking in this business of Candy City for 20 years and you're not even mayor of Candy City?
Wow.
Like not even maybe like running for Senate or like head of Candy State at this point?
No.
So that was my big adventure there. I mean, what do you think? What do you make of that, Ty?
I think that's awesome. Yeah, that's pretty awesome. That's a pretty awesome story. Yeah, I don't know. It kind of sounds like she was just really grumpy about being at Candy City for however long, for years and years. And then she just took it out on you guys. And once she did that, maybe she couldn't take it back. Like she was already invested in it. She couldn't take it back without saving face.
She was invested in it. There was a point where she was at the line looking back. Maybe I could go back or maybe I could go forward. She took a little step forward, and at that point, I can't go back now.
She crossed that line. You can't do it now.
Yep.
Once you threaten with the old mall security, what are you going to do?
And maybe she was hoping that would like send shivers down my spine, like, oh no, not the mall security, please. And maybe if I had pockets full of sweet tarts, I would have been like, okay, I don't want to involve security in this. But the fact that I told her I didn't want to buy candy from her store and she's going to involve security, I'm like, I cannot pass up this opportunity to sit back and watch this happen.
No way. Yeah, that's awesome. To be telling somebody that they must purchase something. Like, you better purchase this or I'm going to call security. That's insane. What's going on in her brain? Like, what kind of thought process does that make sense?
She's like, this is store policy. And I'm like, okay, well, it's too bad that like your store policy has nothing to do with the law of this country, because I don't care what your policy is. The most you can do is ask me to leave, and I'm trying to leave.
Well, it is Candy City, so it doesn't fall under the same laws and regulations as the rest, like, of the United States. So. Oh,
dude, you're right. So I was under Candy City jurisdiction at that point.
You were. But if you would have just crossed out into the mall, then you would have been outside of her jurisdiction. So.
I can't believe that she wasted time calling the De Pere Police Department. She should have got the Candy City Police Department, because I'm sure they would have arrested me immediately.
They would have come out in little candy cars with like with big peppermint wheels. Oh, that would have been so great.
And gumdrop hats on.
Did you know her boss got there and he was just like, as soon as he walked in and he saw what was going on, he's just like, God damn it, Wanda, not again.
Yep, he was pretty angry, and I could tell that. And that was enough for me, because she won the battle. She won the battle of Candy City that day, because I came back in there and I paid for the candy and I took it. So she won the battle, but I'm pretty sure that I won the war, because I wanted to at least let the manager know what had happened. Mm-hmm. And any time that you're working at Candy City and the cops are called on your shift, that can't be the best numbers for you.
Can't be. No. Yeah, I mean, at the end, all you're doing is appeasing a crazy person. You can't consider it a loss. You can just consider it letting a crazy person think that they won so that they can move on with their life, and everybody else can too.
And after 20 years in the business of selling candy, you have to go a little mad, right?
It must be. It must be all that sugar. All that candy must go to your head.
And I mean, look at Willy Wonka. Like, he was fucking out of his mind.
He's pretty nuts.
That was the whole thing I was thinking of, too. Like, as she was yelling at me, I just spaced out, and I could just see her mouth moving. I couldn't hear anything, and all I'm thinking is how jolly the guy on Willy Wonka, the candy man, like everybody he's like throwing candy around and scooping shit out and giving everybody free candy, and like, who can mixes it with love and makes the world taste good.
Did it change your thoughts completely on the candy business?
It did, man, because that's all I was thinking about. And I was like, shouldn't you be mixing this with love and making the world taste good? And she just was not having it.
No, motherfucker, you better buy it. You better purchase something in the store.
She was the most angry candy seller I've ever seen. How can you be angry in that business?
Wow. You think she still works there?
Oh, I don't know if she does or not. I mean, I would hate. In a way, I would kind of feel bad if I ended her 20-year run in that business just by my my being
Mm-hmm.
troublesome that night. But maybe she needed a kick in the pants, you know?
Mm-hmm. She might have. Mm. Maybe she's down at. Maybe she's working at. She got bumped down to like Candy County, or Candy Village or something.
Maybe so, yeah. And I wish our entire township here is overrun by candy cities. There are like three of them, and they're the only place you can go for really good candy. So, yeah, man. So
You're
that
gonna have to do like a. You're gonna have to do a flyby one day. Just if you happen to be in the mall, just do a flyby, see if she's in there, and if not, fuck it.
yep.
Get
I'm
some
gonna.
candy.
I'll have to start just carrying around a fake nose and mustache, just because I can't show my face in Candy City again.
And be extremely careful as you're scooping candy out
Yeah.
of the bin.
Also, I was kind of hoping that she would like place a picture up of me in Candy City.
Oh, that would be so awesome.
Like, yeah, and all I was thinking about is like, so I grew up about an hour from here in sort of a rural area, and I was just thinking, okay, people that grew up there, they haven't heard from me that went to high school with me. They haven't heard from me in a while. I just had like an awesome just dream of somebody coming up to St. Louis and going through the candy store, and then in the candy store they have a picture of me, and it just says, if this guy comes into the candy store, call the police immediately.
Candy City's #1 most wanted.
Yeah. That would have made it all worthwhile for me, dude. It's like Candy City has the opposite effect. Like the worst thing that could happen, but the fact that it's happening to you in a candy store makes it a positive experience.
Yeah, it really does. Like I would be actually pretty proud in that moment to have the cops called on me in a candy store for not buying candy.
Oh, dude, if that happens to you at a bar, it's shameful.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if they have your picture up, you can't come in, it's shameful. It's so fucking ridiculous that would happen in a candy store that makes it all worthwhile, Ty.
Absolutely, it does. Yeah, I think you're vindicated, buddy.
All right. All right. So I've been going to the gas station to get my candy. I mean, it's not as good, but I feel proud. Like I feel like I'm doing this for the greater good.
Hey man, it's worth it. Small victories.
Small victories add up. Mm-hmm. Well, Ty, believe it or not, we have been talking about this for about a half hour at this point.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
This Candy City story is really, it's just completely flew us through the first segment.
It really did, buddy.
So, what do you say we take a little break and we can keep sipping on these brews and we get a little bit of a buzz and then we come back for more?
Yeah, definitely. That sounds like a plan.
All right. And I should say also, we do have the house band in from our 14th episode spectacular, Johnny Ringo and the Tombstone 5.
Oh, you got him back?
We got them back. We have them, hopefully we have them for the rest of the show, but they are going to play us in and out of the breaks.
Awesome. Hey guys, how's it going?
They're waving. We don't have a mic right now, but they are waving at you.
Awesome.
So, all right, well, let's let the guys take it away, and we will be back with more CSP Late Night Edition.